Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new microphone. So let me know how this sounds. It's been super busy, so let's get straight into it. So it's a beautiful day today. It is hot as hell, and as we go into summer it's just going to get warmer and more pleasant. So I've decided to take the time to lay out the bits that'll be the cupboards in the salon and trace them out so that I can start cutting all of this out in the next week or so. So I thought I'd show you guys one of the sunken boats in our area. Every now and again one of these boats sink. They're usually quite old, rusty, they've got holes in, they're badly maintained, they're not really seaworthy, and every now and again we find one in the water. So I believe this one is scheduled to be floated again, and then they'll drag it off and cut it up. And it was such a great day when I filmed this as well. Pity though, great boats. Alright, so I'm going to have to do a voiceover for all of this, since no audio recorded, so this is me trying to explain what I'm doing. At this point I actually decided to test my equipment together to make sure that everything works in unison. I've been struggling trying to get all of this stuff working, and a lot of it has been working, but now I actually want to run a test on the self-steering system. So I've since filled up the reservoir again, but I feel that there's still an issue. So this is me going through the test options on the Varuna self-steering system. You'll see it looks pretty good, it does work. I'm now going to choose to do a test and let it do a rudder test. Now in order for me to do this, I've had to make sure that the rudder is at 90 degrees, which I did by manually checking it, turning the steering wheel and manually checking it. And here you see it's trying to do the test. So the pump is working, it's pushing it up, but it's just not quite going over. So there's a lot of bubbles in the system and it starts beeping and the test fails. So I had a pretty good idea what I needed to do here, and I've since done that. I've bled the entire system, I filled up the reservoir again, and discovered a couple of other weird little issues. So I'm due to redo this test fairly soon. Maybe in the next video, we'll see how it goes. I'd like to much rather remove all of this stuff and start planning for where the final console's going to be. Let's see how we go with that. I think I'll leave it for a while. There's a lot of things I have to still do. So next up, I've got to quickly go up the mast and rebed that GPS unit that's loose. That could have been really nasty. Thankfully, it wasn't. So that'll wake you up if you've ever wanted to get the fright of your life. Have one of these break off under you when you're climbing the mast. And this is a good one. Like, some of them have got clear corrosion on them and I wouldn't trust them, hence I was in all the rigging equipment, but this one came off. It's the third one up, so I can reach it, but I think I need to embark on a project, maybe put it on the board and rebed, re-drill and re-rivet all of these mast ladder footholds. Yeah, I'm definitely awake now. Definitely awake. Okay, so we have finished testing all the nav equipment, so let me update the board and move this across. So we are done with that. We've tested everything. We know what works and what doesn't work, so it'll probably spawn some more tasks of things I need to repair and replace. And there's still quite a bit of things that need to be done. Specifically at the top here, I need to finish Zoe's cabin. I'm not quite done with that, but we'll do that soon. You guys want to see something really interesting? Alright, so this is our steering system. So obviously this is the rudder mount, etc. Here we have the ram, and this is the hydraulic system. These are the hydraulic pipes that go up to the helm. But they are interrupted over here by a valve, and this valve allows me to close or open the system. Closed, then these things become independent and steering happens. If I open it, as I've done now, the system just flows, which means it's really, really good for bleeding the system. So let's go up to the helm and try that out. But now with the system open, if you have a look, I don't know if it comes up on camera, and we'll get some sun on there. This is pretty full. So now with the system open, as soon as I start steering, do you see that? Right. Now I should be able to just keep turning in either direction. And since everything comes up to this reservoir in the first place, it's actually a really good idea to try and bleed everything out into here as much as possible. I'll know it's done when I've done this a few times in either direction, and there are no more bubbles or anything coming out of here. And if I leave it, everything sort of comes back up to the top. Now I've been doing this for a few minutes already in both directions, and I would say there are no air bubbles in this system at all. I've gone every which way. I've topped up the reservoir because it was a little bit on the low side, and I think we're at a point now where I shouldn't have to do any more, and if I stop, it pretty much comes up to the top again. So I would say there are no more bubbles on the system, which is good. So now with the valve closed, I get to test the rudder and test the whole system. It's been bled and it should work really well, and it does. It's nice and smooth and the transition is seamless. It still feels a little bit hard on the wheel, but I think that's because maybe I need a bigger wheel. Maybe I need to service the hydraulic pump, but it feels great. It looks pretty good. The next thing is to test that other little thing, the rudder position sensor, make sure that it reads correctly. But that's a task for another day, one thing at a time. And now, sporting a shaved beard, I'm starting to clean up my work area a little bit. This is long overdue. Things are just starting to pile up, and the entire salon is definitely becoming messy and unkept. So I'm starting to lose things, and bolts and nuts and things that I put down that I think was there and suddenly are not there. So making everything nice and neat and tidy a little bit, as much as can be for a working environment. And then that would be it for the week. Next week I'm going to start doing some work on Mistress. I'll probably post a separate video Saturday. But thank you so much for coming back. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and all the YouTuber stuff. Have a great week. Bye.